There are some principles that you might want to bear in mind when you weight train, and I'm just going to run through them very briefly. Repetitions is just about how many of the same thing you do in one go. And if you're trying to get that beach volleyball player's body, you'll run to about 8, maybe 10 reps. So in other words, your weight must be heavy enough, or the challenge must be heavy enough that you struggle to get to 8. You just manage 8, or maybe just 9, or just 10. Okay, but you don't stop at the number 8 just because that's the ideal number. You have to find a weight or a challenge that is significant enough that it forces you to stop at 8 or 10. And you always want to go to failure, because that's the only way you're going to create a reaction and an adaptation in the muscle itself. It won't adapt if it's not challenged. Beginners, I would aim for about 12 reps. If you've not done weight training before, you want to go 12 reps for about 4 to 6 weeks until you can start bringing the weight up and the reps down, so that you start to get a little bit closer to that ideal for strength. If you're interested in the marathon runner's body, then you can go 15 reps or more. But anything you do over 12 repetitions, 10 repetitions, is going to be heading into endurance. There's just not enough challenge on the muscle to promote a tone change or a growth in that muscle. It's a number of times you repeat an exercise. So you want between 3 and 5, and you can play around with that. So let's say for the first month or 2, you do 3 sets of everything. Maybe you're a beginner and you start at 2 sets, and then within about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you move it up to 3 sets, and you stay there for the next month or 2, and then you increase it to 4 sets, and then you increase it to 5, and then maybe you just play around with that. So it gives you a little bit of something different. When I teach my online classes, sometimes I just surprise them with 5 sets of something and they didn't see it coming, and then they saw the next day. And then next time we go back to 3, but we do it slightly harder in position or whatever it is. So we're constantly keeping a variability to the workouts. Then we talk about rest periods. So you definitely, if you're aiming for that beach volleyball player's body, you want to rest for a minute or 2 in between your sets. For me personally, when I'm teaching clients online or in person, I will always switch between upper and lower body exercises so that we're doing active rest periods. In other words, we're not lying there just resting or just chatting. We're literally doing something with the upper body while we rest the lower body. So we condense the workout, we can make it short and sweet and very efficient. If you're building the marathon runner's body, then anything up to 30 to 60 seconds is sufficient rest time. So this is how quickly or slowly you do an exercise. So typically, if let's say we were doing a bicep curl, which is just this movement, it's 2 seconds up, 1 second at the top, 2 seconds down, 1 second at the bottom. So you've just got a really kind of steady pace going on, a steady tempo. And if you want to challenge yourself using tempo, you could slow it even further, because the slower you do an exercise, the harder it is, because you're completely eliminating momentum. How often is enough? Well, the good news is that research suggests 1 to 2 a week would be sufficient. But if you do once a week, you'd need a longer workout. Obviously, if you do 2 a week, you might want to split your program so that you include some aspects in one day and certain other aspects in another day. And this is what I do when I teach online. Again, we do 3 times 30-minute classes, and I make sure we cover the whole body every week. So we kind of do inner outer thigh, we'll do hamstrings, we'll do quadriceps and glutes, and then we throw the upper body work in that too. So you want to have it fairly well set out so that it's, again, an efficient workout for you. And always do cardio after strength. Okay, you want the glucose in the muscles to perform the strength work well with good technique, otherwise you can run into problems.